Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick update on my journey so far with Rinvoq. So it has been, I think, 2 months since I started Rinvoq. I officially am on I think I'm just about to my third bottle. And I wanted to just talk about, how it's been going with me so far and any possible side effects and things like that. So, as I stated in my last video, I actually started to feel a difference with the Rinvoq within the first or second pill, amazingly enough. I spoke with a nurse with Rinvoq to ask her like is this a placebo effect, and I'm just really excited to be trying something new that might be very helpful. Or has she heard of people who are feeling, a positive effect from the medication within such a short period of time? She did say that it wasn't common, but it does happen. So I think it's partly because I haven't been on any medication to help with the RA for a couple years. So I think maybe it really helped for that reason. I am taking Rinvoq without methotrexate. We were specifically looking for something that I could take on a daily basis that didn't require me to take methotrexate with it, because I had such severe side effects from taking methotrexate in the past. So I very much did not want to have to deal with that. With methotrexate, there was so much nausea, like almost unbearable nausea, major stomach problems, delayed gastric emptying, as well as just feeling horribly sick the few days after you take the medication. Just that feeling of poisoning yourself. And I didn't want to have to go through that. I didn't want to know that every week I was going to take something that would make me feel so horrible. I couldn't feel the positive effects of methotrexate. I just knew it was supposed to be doing what it was supposed to be doing, but I never felt anything good from it. Luckily, with the Rinvoq, so far I have not had any side effects. Even after about 2.5 months, however long it's been, I have not had any side effects. Now, there was one morning where I took Rinvoq in the morning by accident, and I don't know if it was a mixture of the fact that I had already taken one Rinvoq at around 9 o'clock at night, and then took another one around, I think it was probably around 7 o'clock in the morning, because those were too close. The actual doses were so close. I don't know if that's what gave me side effects, or if this is what it would be like if you took Rinvoq in the morning. So the only side effect I had was I was very nauseous and I was really groggy. Now that only lasted about 2 or 3 hours, and then it was gone and I was completely fine. So I would say that if you find yourself feeling those side effects, speak with your doctor and see if they're okay with you taking Rinvoq at night. Because I take it literally right before I go to bed, and because I'm asleep, I'm not moving around. My eyes aren't moving around. I'm not doing anything that would cause dizziness, nausea, and then because I'm asleep, if there's grogginess, I sleep through it. So because I take the Rinvoq at night might be a big reason why I don't have any side effects, even like nausea, nothing. So that's just something to think about. That one time I did try taking it in the morning, I did have those side effects. So and I'd already been taking it at that point for 2 months. So it's not, I'm guessing that if you're feeling that when you take it every day, it's not something that goes away. So I would suggest that, talk to your doctor, see if it's okay, and try taking it at night right before you go to bed instead. And then you will most likely sleep through those type of side effects. I did have a previous rheumatologist who was amazing, who always suggested I take a lot of my new medications at night if the prescription allowed, so that I could sleep through any possible side effects as my body adjusted. So I pretty much do that with any new medication that isn't required to take during the day, or that, it's not like a pain medication where I'm trying to take it in the, as I'm feeling actual pain or discomfort. So I've had my blood work, a complete, extreme, very in-depth blood work done since I started the Rinvoq. It's probably about a month after I was on it, and everything is fine. Everything is fine as far as like my blood work and what's normal to me. There's some of my blood work that comes back a little off all the time, and that's always been how it was. That's how it was before I started on the Rinvoq. But it was really good to know that so far it's everything's doing fine. I should have more blood work done in the next few weeks, and if anything changes, I'll definitely make a new video to talk about that if we realize there's anything else going on with any side effects possibly from the Rinvoq. I know they really want to keep an eye on anything that could show up that could mean there's possibly any like bleeding of the intestines or stomach and things like that, because I think that's one of the most concerning side effects that people speak about. So on this so far it's been so easy to take. Like I said, it hasn't interfered with any of my other medications, no side effects. It is really, really been helping. Now, I'm not going to say that this medication makes me feel normal, because I think the level of RA that I have, there's not a medication that's going to make me feel normal, but it did make me able to move a lot more and just be in less pain. The pain level I was in before I started this medication was almost unbearable. I was barely able to do anything. I was working from home and it was excruciating, and just to exist was so hard. So this did take my pain level down a lot. So I was at a point where it was really hard to walk because the pain in my feet, because I have RA in my feet, was so bad every time I stood that to just walk around my apartment or take my dog out on a walk or to use the bathroom was pretty bad. And not only did it hurt while I was doing those things, the repercussions after were pretty bad. So that does not happen anymore. I still have soreness in my feet and in my joints, but I'm not having the extreme inflammation and the extreme pain because I did something to the level I was having before. So it has made a major change in my quality of life, and I'm so grateful for it. And I pray that it continues to work. And I think the key to this, besides it just being a completely new type of medication, is that it's a daily medication. So if you've tried everything else, because I've been on some really high level infusions and injections previously that did not work this well or had so many side effects. Another example is like when I was on a medication like Cimzia and Humira and stuff like that. Well, I didn't do Humira, I did Enbrel. I was really prone to getting like skin infections of different types, or if I got a paper cut or a hangnail or anything, those would get infected really easily. Like not even really easily. Every hangnail, every paper cut would get infected. And that's kind of like something weird that my immune system does in general, but it would be really severe all the time with it before, so I had to be so careful all the time. I'm not finding that I'm more susceptible to that now than without the medication, like I was on something like Cimzia. So that is very helpful. I've been extra careful about putting like who I'm around. I have a sign on my door saying someone who is immunocompromised lives here. Please take the necessary precautions to try to stop people who are sick from coming in my apartment, because I do have a roommate. And maintenance comes in and stuff like that. But I've been careful enough not to be around people who are sick. I haven't caught any colds or any viruses, which is something to say for me, because I'm pretty susceptible to those things on a normal basis with or without this medication. So just staying careful. I haven't by myself, getting sick, no random fevers. I remember one of the symptoms that were making it really hard for me to just be able to sit still and like work or relax or do anything was I was getting a lot of like, I don't know if it was like neuropathy, nerve pain in my feet, or it was just a burning sensation in my feet and like a fire sensation. Like it would feel like my feet were on fire, like they would just catch flames. They would get so red and so inflamed and so painful every day. And they would be hot to the touch. And I have these little slippers, which I'll put a picture up of what they look like, that are ice pack slippers that I would put on to try to help relieve the pain. I was spraying peppermint oil on my feet. I was putting biofreeze on my feet, anything to try to help that sensation. That has gone down extremely. now that I've been taking Rinvoq for this long. I only get that maybe once a week when that was something that I had to deal with every single day. So I don't know if that was just the RA very active in my feet, because that's the most recent area that it's been attacking, or what, if that's what that was. But I'm so grateful to not have to deal with that as much anymore, because that was really, like, it was kind of pain that I couldn't think through. The burning hot pain, I just couldn't even think through it. So it made things really, really hard. So I'm very, very happy. Another major change that I've noticed is, I think I've talked about in one of my videos before, I've talked about the analogy of always being overheated and always wanting to be in cold or with air conditioning or a fan, and preferring cold weather over warm weather and having a heat intolerance. Now, I do still have a heat intolerance. However, I am not dealing with being extremely overheated as much since I started taking Rinvoq. And it's summertime now, or spring, but getting close to summer, and it's in the 80s where I currently live. So that, I think, a lot of I made the analogy I was speaking of before, is that I always felt like, because I'm autoimmune, my body is kind of like cooking itself from the inside out, or like cooking, like all this immune activity and inflammation is causing heat inside the body. At least that's what it felt like. So I always felt overheated, really hot, unable to withstand heat, or like even like heating pads and stuff like that. I had to use them because of the pain, but they were really hard to tolerate. And I just always thought, like, I could step outside in the middle of winter with it being absolutely freezing or snowing with no jacket. I just needed to have something covering my feet, and I'd be in a t-shirt and I was fine. Like, it was pretty extreme, but that felt good because it always felt like my body was just boiling from the inside out. That has calmed a lot. It's not gone, but like, I find myself feeling chilly every once in a while and needing to put a jacket on. And when I step outside, you know, I try not to spend too much time outside when it's, you know, as hot as it gets here, but it's not as unbearable. It doesn't feel like I'm in an oven and like I'm going to pass out. A lot of that has calmed down, and I know it's the Rinvoq because it's the only other major change. I am currently, I think I mentioned in my last video, taking a muscle relaxer every night. Not a narcotic muscle relaxer or anything. I think I already put the name of it in my last video, but I'll notate the name of it again before again up here. I'm taking it every night. It really helps with a lot of the fibromyalgia pain and a lot of the back pain that I deal with. It's really helpful, and I don't have any side effects from it. So it's been a really, really helpful thing. So right now I'm just taking, for the RA and fibromyalgia, just the Rinvoq and this muscle relaxer. And then obviously I take ibuprofen and Tylenol, fish oil and magnesium. And then I take a medication for high blood pressure, as we're trying to figure out where the root of that is coming from. But otherwise, I've been able to walk a lot more. Not anything compared to what a healthy normal person does, but I'm doing 2 to 3 15-minute walks a day with my dog, which is a huge improvement for me, and I can do that without causing any additional pain. I'm stretching, I'm just doing more around my apartment. It's not as exhausting to have to do things like cleaning. All this to say, I'm still someone who deals with chronic health issues, chronic illness, rheumatoid arthritis, and fibromyalgia, and I don't have the energy and the pain, the low level of pain that a normal person has. All of that is still very relative to what I was dealing with before. I'm just not in a level 9, 10 pain every day anymore. Now, bad days aren't frequent. I can usually take a hot bath, do some stretching, use a heating pad, do different things, you know, to help with and manage my pain. I think another thing in addition to all of that that's really helped with how my body's responding is that I have a new job that's a lot less stressful. The environment is a lot healthier, and reducing the stress level is a major important thing as well. So I know that as well probably has a lot to do with it. But I just wanted to update you guys on that information, let you know that the Rinvoq is still going very well, still no side effects. I'm still very happy with it. Oh, another thing is I had a person who commented on the last video who was asking questions about the price of the medication and the copay assist program that they have, and about how often they call you with that. So Rinvoq, I think I saw my explanation of benefits with my insurance is about like $7,000, almost $8,000 a month. With my insurance, it would be $300 a month that I would be responsible for. However, Rinvoq has which almost all biologics, every biologic I've ever tried has a copay assist program that you can sign up for, where you can fill the prescription after your insurance pays what they cover for either no cost to you or very low cost to you. So Rinvoq is, their copay assist program makes it so that I only pay $5 a month for the prescription. Now, they are a very diligent program. They have a nurse that calls me once a month. You do not have to do these calls. You can tell the nurse that you don't want to talk to her on a regular basis and that you'll call if you have questions, but I don't mind sharing my experience because I do seem to be having a unique reaction with no complications and working so fast that I want to be able to share my experience with Rinvoq so they can learn from the experience. But I speak with the nurse once a month, and that person will call you if you don't say otherwise, just to tell her how I'm doing, any changes. But they were so diligent that they were able to catch my change of insurance when I changed my job before I even realized what needed to be done. So they may want to call often and talk often, but to me it's worth it, because to be able to fill this prescription for $5 a month, and then they call you about 2 weeks before your prescription is up, before you're out of pills, to refill your prescription, because they want to make sure under no circumstances do you run out of the medication and have to start having your symptoms again. So if they reach out to you ahead of time, and let's say there's an issue with your insurance, with your doctor's office, if you recently moved, or if you need a new prior authorization, they're leaving enough time for all of that stuff to happen. So because they reach out like that all the time, I was able to mention that I had just switched insurances, and I didn't realize that my doctor was going to have to do a brand new prior authorization with a brand new insurance whose process is going to be different. So by the time I realized my nurse mentioned that to me, I went ahead and called my doctor's office the next day. I had uploaded the new insurance information on my patient portal online for my job already, but I hadn't reached out to my doctor to let them know that I needed a new prior authorization. But because Rinvoq is so on top of it with their program, by the time I called my doctor's office to tell them I needed a new prior authorization, Rinvoq had already reached out to my doctor's office and requested the new prior authorization with the new insurance, and my prescription was already ready to be filled. So they just sent it the next day. So, I mean, I will take getting called often to be able to have stuff like that already so prepared for you, you know, to be so taken care of and make sure that you get what you need. I appreciate their diligence so much. So, I mean, I would say if you feel a little like it's just a little too much contact for you, then just speak with, you know, the pharmacy and let them know that you'll call them when you're ready to fill and you'd rather not be called. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to work with you with that, but I think it's very helpful to have them contacting you frequently so that you can be able to mention any strange things going on, because you might think it's normal and you don't even think to mention it to your doctor, and you don't see your rheumatologist, you know, every month. You might see them every 2 to 3 months. So to have a nurse call and just ask you things and just mention things, and then you might be able to say something that they suddenly realize maybe this is something you need to talk to your doctor about, I think is really helpful. So, I mean, it's up to you, to each their own, whatever it is that's helpful for you. But I hope you guys found this helpful. Please let me know if you have any other questions about it. I'm more than happy to share my experience. And I hope you guys are having a great day. To all my fellow Spoonies out there, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you, and I pray that you guys are able to find some kind of relief so that you can have a great quality of life, or the best that you're capable of having, and find some joy in the things that you're doing. And for all my Spoonie supporters out there, we are so grateful for those of you who just naturally have the compassion to be able to support and understand and be there for us, and without us having to push too much to say, we may look healthy, we may look normal, but that's not what's happening in the inside. And if you're someone out there who's able to listen to someone tell you that and believe them and support them, you are one of the angels out there, and we greatly appreciate you. All right, bye.